my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. Now, this quote, we only have one chance at being young. That is more valuable than anything. Enjoy every single moment as much as you possibly can. Well, those are the words of singer-songwriter Werner Bekker, whose latest single, Side of the Wild, speaks empathically about his frustrations and fears around life, love, and growing up. And here's a little snippet of his talent.
Lay down your sorrows, your hopes, and your ideas. I'll show you mine, I'll show you mine, I'll show you mine, I'll show you mine. Love is from inside to outside. I'm not on the wrong side no more. 'Cause I'm with you, oh I'm with you, oh I'm with you, oh I'm with you.
Oh, it is that deep expressiveness for me where you go so deep in, and I've got to love it. Werner Bekker, welcome to the Expresso Show. Let's give it up for Werner, everybody. Hey.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. It's so good to have you here,
Yes,
man. Thank you
it's
so much for
great to
gracing
be
us with your presence, and I know that your voice is really going to just go straight for the heart. But I know that you are a full-time musician, 8 years of experience, in fact, more than 8 years. Composition, performance, teaching, music. This journey has been a combination of so many things. Where did it all begin for you?
So my dad was actually a musician as well for a couple of years when I was growing up, and so we got to tour with him throughout the country and see a lot of the arts festivals and sort of grow up around that industry, and I think that's really what sparked a love for music inside me.
It was at home.
And I love that quote. Speaking about growing up, I think a lot of us, I don't know about you, Tabzi, but I'm speaking definitely for myself, we have this fear of not necessarily growing up, but being a grown-up and being an adult, because adulting is hard. What is it about that song that really hits home for you?
So to me, Side of the Wild is really about discovering new things in your life and using your arms wide open, just to embrace them and not be afraid. Sort of plunge your head in first and see what comes next.
Be an adult.
And would you say that's the same approach you sort of applied to making your music, sort of just plunging in and experimenting with the sound and finding what that looks like? Or do you just kind of like have a set style and tone that you just never deviate from?
So in the new EP that I'm bringing out this year, I'm exploring some new sounds and going a new direction that I've never done before. And I find that because I'm sort of closer to 30 now, I'm starting to experience life in a more mature way. And that has helped me see that it's not all dark and dingy, and there are beautiful things in this life as well.
It's not just dark and dingy on our side of the world at 30s, trust me.
It really is beautiful. Now, do you find making that shift, that change in your music style and direction, was that something that was easy for you, or did it take a little bit of work?
So it definitely took a bit of work, but it comes very unconsciously, right? It's sort of a subconscious thing that happens. You're not actually actively sitting there and thinking, I want to write the song this way, or at least not in my case. Usually when I write a song, it sort of comes very naturally. And then you can sort of mold it slightly afterwards and see where you want to take it, a bit more to a happy-go-lucky direction or something more darker or a bit more emotional.
Side of the Wild, it's the first single out of this brand new EP. It's all the anticipation. We're excited about it. Please just paint the picture of what this story is all about and how it's going to just unfold.
Yeah, so this whole album that I'm releasing is basically about my quarter-life crisis. I feel like more and more people are experiencing that in their mid to late 20s. And Side of the Wild is sort of one of those songs where you realize that even though things might seem very hard and you might feel like you have to be somewhere in your life because you see your peers, you see that they are achieving things that you might not necessarily be achieving, you have to trust the the universe and just go with the flow, eventually your time will come.
That's so true, because I think a lot of us tend to compare where we're at, and that was something that was quite difficult because not everyone took a gap year. Some people went to go study. The minute you leave school, everyone goes at their own pace in their own directions, and I think sometimes we forget that. So
Yeah.
thank you for that reminder.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think it's just knowing that life is a journey and not a destination. Our job is to enjoy the ride, but be part of creating that ride.
Exactly.
Well, Werner Bekker is in the house, and we're going to be riding with him all throughout the morning here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We want you to get your cell phones out because you're going to be needing to comment, letting us know what you think of his brand new sound and his EP that's out, Side of the Wild. Oh, love that one. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. You will use the hashtag Expresso Show. Welcome, Werner.
Thank you so much for having me.